Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode. Casino Fanatic Andy here, and I've got a lot of great stories for you. But first, I'm going to start off with my minimum bet hand pay this past weekend. Take a look at this clip. Let's get the Grande. Oh, Grande? That's Ariana Grande. Oh my gosh, you guys, we got the major for $1,300. Oh my gosh, we got $1,300 on the major here on 88 cents. Holy crap, everybody. Hand pay on a live stream we've ever had. Second hand pay ever on a live stream. On a surprise live. Oh, we got that right there. Oh, do we get the major? Oh, we win the major, $13.58. On 88 cents. That's what we got here. Hotel Gaming Madison, what's up? All right, here you go. You guys, we're getting paid the hand pay right here. We got the hand pay here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 20, 40, 65, 6, 7, and
All right, let me get you guys. We're going to give, you guys agreed $60 was a good tip. There you go. I know. It got me dancing. I was excited. Happy to do that. Love that bet multiplier jackpot. That's like 1,1600x. My bet, love it. As of today, December 1st, Missouri now has sports betting. And people in Missouri are very, very excited. The lawmakers are super excited about all that tax revenue that is coming in. But the concern now is these option trading like Kalshi and these other sites. Are they going to take away the big tax jackpot Missouri thought they were getting? I think there's more to come, but I think there's a legitimate concern. Speaking of Kalshi, interestingly enough, there was a judge in Nevada that ordered them to stop operating. And guess what? They're like, no, we're going to do what we're going to do. I think that's pretty brazen. But there are certain models, if you look back at Uber and some of these other ones, they were viewed as being lawbreakers. So it'll be interesting to see. I think when you're messing with the Nevada Gaming Commission and other things, that's a risky proposition, but good luck. In not surprising news, Resorts World Las Vegas posted disappointing results. I hate to say it, I like Resorts World, but the location is iffy and it just kind of doesn't have that vibe. I don't know why. But they had their revenue drop to $175 million on the quarter. The property also fell to profit, EBITDA, $12 million. Now, EBITDA, if you don't know, it can be adjusted, so this doesn't say if it's adjusted EBITDA or not. But hotel occupancy went down to 83.8%, and the average rate is $242. Now, for me, $242 for a room like that in New York City would be amazing. But in Vegas, you're sitting right next to Circus where you can get a room for like $20. So I didn't know electronic pull tabs legally were actually a thing, but in Kentucky they are for nonprofits. Now, interestingly enough, they disabled the machines for one provider. Why? Allegations of cheating. How do you cheat an electronic pull tab, you might say? Well, I think if you're unscrupulous, that would be very easy to do. But this is a legitimate business. Happened. Okay. So people were caught on surveillance, putting money in the machine, pulling it back out with like a little string there, pulling it back out, and it was giving them the credits. And for nonprofits, that's really, really tough. I can't believe that technique that used to be what you used to do in Vegas when you cheated back in 30 years ago, try to stick a coin in or a dollar in and pull it right back out. But apparently that's happening with electronic pull tabs. And again, we're hearing more stories about Las Vegas actually maybe kind of realizing that they're pricing the everyday consumer out. There is a saying here that the CEO of the LVCVA, the Las Vegas Convention Visitors Authority, there's an affordability aspect. There's a sensitivity what our customers can afford. And that has been heightened because of the uncertainty. Really? You're just figuring this out now that the people don't want to come and spend all this money for like water and hotel rooms? You got 150,000 hotel rooms. Again, people can go to Vegas. I go to Vegas. I'm going to Vegas in like 2 weeks. But that doesn't mean I love going to Vegas the way I used to go to Vegas, because it's just there's so many other things. Now, the whole Vegas is dead thing, I think that's a bit of a misnomer. It's the slow time of year, right? Why do you think F1 came in November? It's because it's normally a slow time of the year, and so they figure, well, let's try to revive sometime into now. Speaking of F1, it just happened a few weeks ago. And obviously, depending on which marketing spin you want to look at, it was either a huge, huge success and they want to renew for 10, 12 years down the road. Or if you listen to the other side of social media, it was a disaster. Everything was empty, blah, 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 blah. I think both sides are probably like hyping it up for views or hyping it up for if you were the Las Vegas convention, you'd be like, it's obviously a huge success. If you're social media, guess what? You get clicks if you're negative. You get clicks if you're negative. But one of the things we have to realize, though, is in some aspects, let's think about it. Let's say you have a high roller. Apparently, the high rollers are coming into town for F1. Let's say they lose $1 million. Who are they catering to? One person who can lose $1 million or 10,000 people that lose $100. Do the math, right? Do the math. This December, Fremont Street Experience is celebrating 30 years. Now, as somebody who's going to Vegas, I've never gone to Vegas before that happened. I was kind of interested. If you look at the Fremont Street and you look at the pictures of what it looked like before they put the experience up and now, it's totally different. I think it looks nice. And they've made a lot of great changes to it. I do kind of miss some of the historical vibes of it, the old neon that was up. But it is a place that I always try to typically go. And I've done the zip line a few times as well. So happy 30th anniversary to Fremont Street Experience. Let's see if you can get Neonopolis to actually turn into something that can be moderately successful in a place that people want to go. It's almost the end of the year, and where is everybody telling us that the jackpot threshold is officially going up? Where's the crickets? Where's the crickets? It's not happening. I just don't see it happening. Nobody's planning. Nobody's talking. When the big beautiful bill came out, everybody's like, yes, we're raising it to 2,000. And people were like, should be 5,000. It should be 10,000. But guess what? It looks like it's going to stay at 1,200 as we go into 2026. Not quite what we were expecting. Not totally surprising. Hopefully they can figure out all this tax stuff and get rid of that 90% deduction, get it back to the 100%, because it feels like this is not what I was expecting when we look at taxes. The tax situation for gamblers is just getting worse, and hopefully they fix it. We don't talk about Atlantic City much on this channel, but guess what? It seems like they're struggling even more. In the last quarter, 5 properties saw decreases in revenue and profitability. The whole market saw decreases. Ocean was a real highlight in that as well, but it looks not so great for Atlantic City, which is a bummer. It's like a kind of a cool place. I've been a couple of times, but yeah, I don't know. It's not looking good for Atlantic City. Every rose has its thorn. Guns N' Roses is coming back to Las Vegas in 2026. They are playing on August 22nd at Allegiant Stadium. Saying this nicely, I didn't realize that Guns N' Roses was still a thing, but props to them. Found this interesting as well. If you're not familiar with horse racing, the odds constantly change as people place wagers and stuff like that. In New York, the Racing Association is trying to just offer fixed odds so that when you place a bet, you are placing it at what those odds are. And I think that's a really interesting concept. I think that's kind of how it should be, because I've gone to horse racing before and placed a wager, and by the time it actually comes to the race, I would not have bought it if it, like, let's say it was 13-1, and then people buy it, and then it goes down to 2-1. Even though I bought it at 13-1, I get it at 2-1. I think this is an interesting way of doing it. I don't know how you kind of work around it, but I like the idea of fixed odds horse racing. Guess what, everybody? The Batista's Hole in the Wall, this classic old school restaurant in Las Vegas, is back open after renovations. They were closed for 6 months. They're back open. I'm ready to go. If you've not been, it's quite an interesting concept and experience, but I'm not going to say too much about it, but I highly recommend you go. And the final thing I want to talk about on this episode, let's talk about it. We see all these people, again, I'm not trying to harp on them, but let's say the secret to betting and getting jackpots is by betting more. Breaking news, shocking. Guess what? If I bet $5,000 a spin, I'm going to get a lot of jackpots. Yep. Every winning spin's going to be a jackpot. So if I want to get jackpots for jackpot's sakes, bet $5,000, everyone. Do it. You'll get a lot of jackpots. You know what you also get? A lot of losses, right? 5,000 a spin. So I just don't understand the logic in trying to tell people, you want to get that jackpot, you got to bet more. Sure. That's true. You'll get more jackpots the more you bet. But what kind of conveniently gets left behind is you're going to lose more money. I don't understand, right? Like, I could bet and win jackpots, but I'm going to lose more money. What's the fun of that? We're all playing negative EV games, meaning the house always wins. So don't chase jackpots just to get a jackpot. Woo! Get it. If you get it natural, I got one in 88 cents. I showed you the video earlier. It's fun. But chasing them to get a jackpot to make yourself feel better like you got a jackpot, betting $25, $50, $100, $200, $300 a spin, whoopity-doo!